As I mentioned coming in here, this is game number 2 of this best of 3, the Go for SC2 monthly finals. Madals and merry-go-round is going to be the map that it's played out upon. For the player up into the top right spot, he is just one victory away from advancing into the quarterfinals. He is Solar. And his opponent, down to the south. The Blue Terran, fighting now to stay within this tournament, has to win this game for a shot to go any further. He plays for E-Stars. It is botvinnik. So, Samsung Galaxy Cars Solar is doing a good job so far. Game number 1 was pretty standard. He didn't go for anything cheesy, didn't go for anything overly risky or greedy or unorthodox. He just played a very standard Zerg versus Terran. 15 hatch into a into a pool, into a gas, get Zerging speed down, harassed a little bit with speedlings, but that was more in response to botvinnik going for the command center first opening. And from there, he was a little way ahead, but just very, very standard. Zergling, Baneling, muteless composition, good economy, and he just had a solid play from there. Looks like we're going to get things mixed up a bit this game though. Solar going for the gas into the spawning pool. Could be looking for some Baneling bust action. Could be looking for some speedling aggression. Whereas, yeah. Waiting to see what botvinnik is going to be doing. We've got the first gas coming through from botvinnik, as well as that barracks coming on through. So he's playing a little bit safer than otherwise. I was just answering someone in chat. The Foreign Hope isn't actually finished yet if you're watching live. The Foreign Hope Grand Finals are occurring tomorrow night at 7 PM Central European Summertime. That's going to be a best of 7 between Bunny and Scarlet. So that should be a heck of a lot of fun. Looking now for Solar. Coming in with this Overlord. Going to see, okay, Barracks is coming on through. Still, the drones are in gas. It'll be interesting to see what he does. He's going to pull them. Okay, so he should start Zergling speed. Pull those out. And he's just got 4 Zerglings on the way, not committing too heavily. What he may have found his plan was that if he had seen a CC first opening or something along those lines, then maybe he would have looked to pump significantly more gas into, say, some Banelings, looking to just end that game quickly. But regardless, he's going to be applying a little bit of pressure. The first few Zerglings coming on forward, the poor Reaper isn't really going to know what's going to hit him as he does come edging forward. The Lings, for now, just pulling away. They don't want to get spotted as of yet because, of course, speed isn't coming on down. And bear in mind, actually, there are a lot more Zerglings on their way. Going up to 8. Quick little check here from botvinnik. Not going to see too much. Still doesn't even see that Zergling running in behind him. 3 more coming from the side. Soda chasing down with everything now. Goes for a quick little look with that watchtower. You may be wondering how, obviously, this Reaper was seen. It's because of the Overlords. That's what really gave it away. The Overlord coming through the main base as well would have seen the fact that there was the gas, and obviously with the racks first, it was quite expected. 6 more Lings are coming on through now, so this is actually a much bigger commitment for Solar into Zerglings than initially thought. He's going to, in total, make 18, risking losing a couple here. Speed is about to kick in, like literally 1 second away. I don't know if that was revealed yet. The bunker already up though, so botvinnik playing this safer than you may expect. He could actually move up into the main base, doesn't go for it. That could have been a very, very, very nice little move. Unfortunately, for Solar, botvinnik able to get in a secure wall now. Doesn't really have much in the way of defense against this as of yet, but has 2 Marines in that bunker, a couple of SCVs waiting there, forcing the repair in addition on quite a few of these structures. But once the 2 Hellions are out, that's where Solar is going to be limited in how much damage that he's going to be able to do. All clumped up like this, these 2 Hellions can quickly dispatch a group of Zerglings without really much trouble. So all in all, Solar sacrificed quite a lot of his drone count in order to get out 18 Zerglings worth of units. 6 of them died, and he didn't really do much counter damage. He killed 1 Marine. Not really worth it for the most part. So looking on the positive, Solar still has a lot of speedlings out. He's got speed early, but the drawbacks far outweigh that. He lost decent stuff and didn't really achieve anything with it. The game is still young though. The resources lost count, only just over 200 between them, so this is all very, very safe for the time being. Solar now expanding up into getting that 3rd hatchery. Pretty normal timing there. It's actually relatively early considering just how much of an investment came through from this hatch. And well, botvinnik is just looking around with these Hellions. Waiting to see what's going on through. Got to be a bit careful because there are a couple of Zerglings from behind. You don't want to get caught by them on a Ling run by. But of course, with this bunker, which I really like the placement of, botvinnik should be pretty much safe even if he were to move out. Anything shy of a big push from Solar won't really break that position. So Solar adding in a couple of Spore Crawlers now. This is mainly in case there was going to be any bounty play coming on through. There isn't. Instead, that third command center again making a showing. This is still a slightly less greedy approach by botvinnik compared to the first game because he didn't open hatch CC first. So that means that by going CC first into a third CC quickly, you're very exposed, as we saw last game. This game just a bit more being pumped out into units on the ground just to provide botvinnik with a little bit more map control. These Hellions moving across could actually start posing some problems. There's only 16 speedlings on the field, and there was a big drone wave just now, but it looks like they're not too confident in applying pressure and trying to cause a bit of pain. Although that Reaper's very dead. That was a nice pick off. Getting the Reaper is always going to be a cushy little bonus. Still these Hellions poking and prodding away. Trying to prevent creep spread getting any further forward, wasting a bit of queen energy. All little nice wins. Marginal gains that can obviously compound very quickly into winning your entire series. Solar 1-1 melee upgrades also coming on through, so he's not taking any big risks as of yet, just still playing a very standard. This game, however, botvinnik is going to be keeping up with those upgrades. He's got the 1-1 infantry attack and armor coming on through, so this is really positive for botvinnik. Last game, he fell quite a long way behind in terms of those upgrades, so by now, starting off quicker, he should be in a much stronger spot in the mid and late game, especially in the late mid game, because that's when he will be able to go up into 3-3 potentially, whereas there's always that little bump for 3-3 on the Zerg side due to the requirement of Hive. Now, waiting to see where these two decide to go from here. Solar still playing this very normal, adding in his Baneling Nest, adding in his lair. This lair timing is a little bit late actually. It came just before the 10-minute mark, so not crazy so, but still not as early as you would see it. He was relying upon speedlings for a good amount of time. But by delaying that tech, what it's allowed Solar to do is pump out a heck of a lot of drones. He's up to 76 drones already, and that's after he made those 18 Zerglings early on in the game. He's also adding in more Lings now. The Baneling Nest is finished. No Baneling speed started yet, just a couple of Banelings morphing in. The creep spread is alright, and if there is an engagement on creep, obviously those Banelings are still going to be very scary, but most Terran players at this sort of level of play, if the Banelings are trying to engage off creep without Baneling speed, it's not really going to work. The splits will be good enough, the focus fire will be good enough too. We'll move across the map now. 11 minute 30, kind of push out. It's that 11-12 minute mark move with the first two medevacs. It's always very irritating to deal with it. Solar has a good number of units though. He's already prepared. He's got the Banelings ready and waiting. Got to be careful where he goes to engage. This is what we mean about the creep spread out of the Zergling speed being vitally important. These Banelings just unable to get the connections that they require. The Hellions just going to back away from this. A couple of Baneling hits will go off nicely on the high ground, pick off a fair few of the Marines, but still more remain. This fourth hatchery could be running into some problems. We've got additional Banelings morphing, additional Zerglings streaming on by, but this little force is just very annoying overall for Solar. botvinnik moving now towards this third base, spots the spire, probably won't be able to focus it down. Doesn't really have enough units, but reinforcements, they're coming across. The 2-2 upgrades are actually now ahead for botvinnik by about 10 seconds, so a massive window for him and a big area of improvement from that first game in terms of that upgrade timing. Of course, this gas is exposed up on the high ground, and well, a couple of Lings can come on through. It's not going to be able to do that much more. There's also a Hellbat in here. That's irritating. Could get the Queen if there's a bit of focus, but there's not going to be. Instead, a little bit cautious around the fact that there's quite a few Banelings rolling by. Good multi-prong attacking coming through from botvinnik though, poking up multiple bases simultaneously. Really putting Solar's multitasking to the test, but with the fact that the Mutalisks are now on the field, it's going to be a lot harder to be successful with drop-style pokes and prods, because the Mutas will just slowly clean up the medevac count. They can deal with the Marines in small numbers, and that's going to be very challenging for botvinnik to continue to be successful with. Still looking, still checking, making sure nothing crazy is going on. Good addition of a Thor coming through from botvinnik. That's going to allow him to deal with the Mutalisks a little bit better than actually he did in, well, any other game, because he didn't have a chance to get Thor down in the last game. He's also still doing so solid in these upgrades, being a decent chunk ahead. It's only about 10 seconds ahead, but he can start 3-3 the second 2 are finished. There's not even an infestation pit for Solar, so that means he's a long way off Hive Tech and a long way off being able to start research on 3-3. This Mutalisk flock, 10 of them, getting the odd little pick off. It's quite nice for them. Note this though, the resources lost actually tells a very important story in this game. Solar losing nearly double the resources of his opponent. Very substantial. Means that he's not trading well. It also means that botvinnik is in a much stronger economic footing than he was in game number 1. So while these Mutalisks are trying to pick away at a couple of supply depots, the Thor now out, but more importantly, this push up from botvinnik moving towards the 4th base. In comes Solar, going to be trying to get a couple of Baneling hits off. Does get some very, very nice connections there. The Thor's and Hellbats trying to tank up some of the damage, but there's just so many Banelings. More keep coming rolling on down. And that's pretty much all of the ground army of botvinnik dead. The Thor gets picked up. It's going to try and retreat. Of course, the medevacs could look to chase it down, but with reinforcing Marines on the ground on their way across, it would be very dangerous chasing with the Mutalisks just in case they met up with those, and Solar's control wasn't phenomenal. So again, the forward siege. This army a lot smaller than the previous one, but as is Solar's, both trying to just resupply as quickly as possible, get into the strongest position possible. Another quick scan on the cards. I love this from botvinnik. Just slowly moving units up onto the high ground. Not quite able to get the queen though. 17 HP remains. Still though, the medevacs poking and prodding. Ooh, good Thor hit. That was actually massive. That really weakened up a lot of those Mutalisks. Of course, Thor's deals splash damage to clumped up air units, so a shot like that, incredibly powerful, and has knocked down a vast number of those Mutalisks' health. It does regenerate up pretty quickly, but the Marines are going to be looking even more effective. In comes Solar now, going to be trying to go for a nice engagement. Banelings coming from both sides. Great little flank here, and the surround. The Baneling count quickly deteriorating, as is though the units on the ground here for botvinnik. Quick little boost away from these medevacs. Wants to get those to safety so they're not picked off if it can be at all avoided. But Solar really now taking a momentous swing in terms of the overall positioning, in terms of the overall composition. He's adding in more Banelings, can be looking to take out this 3rd base. The Banelings, of course, 2-shot workers. That can be devastating. The bunker is in a nice position, but if the Banelings manage to make it out, that may not be enough. Banelings all finish, the Speedlings rolling on by. Handful of SCVs tucking up on that bunker. Are the Banelings going to be able to connect? It looks like yes, they will. Down goes that bunker. Down goes a lot of workers. 22 have been killed. And if this 3rd were to fall, it would be disastrous. But a quick little lift. The Mutalisks distracted and also quite low in number. Should mean that the 3rd CC able to escape. Lands again. But botvinnik knows he's not going to be able to come back from that. GG's out. And Solar takes a clean 2-0 sweep in this first series and will advance on into the quarterfinals.